have debt. How do I pay off debt and save at the same time? And here's the thing, you can do both. I may be a little biased because I've done it myself. I've paid off $115,000 worth of debt while building up a six-figure investment portfolio in less than 5 years. I've helped clients do the same thing, reach their first six figures in investments while paying off their debt. So we're going to jump into it today, and I'm going to talk about some of the common things that I'm seeing as to why you're staying stuck and yo-yoing between saving and paying off debt. And we'll talk about that. Before we jump in, my name is Tashika Ma'at. I'm a financial coach and the founder of John My Wealth Financial. And my goal is to help high-earning women keep more cash in their pockets so they can position it to wealth and create a life of freedom and ease. And so part of that is making sure that you understand what's actually happening with your finances so that you're not stuck in this yo-yo of, do I pay off debt or do I save? So let's jump into it. I want you to think about why you are trying to tackle saving versus paying off debt. Because what I usually see is one of two things, right? Or you're trying to save as much as you can, but then you're ignoring your debts, right? You're just paying the minimum. It's kind of going through its process. But what usually happens in the situation is if you have high interest credit card debt, right? You trying to pay just the minimum on that debt is actually hurting you even more because you're paying more in terms of interest, right? So creating a balance between saving and paying off debt, you have to have a well thought out plan. Number one, understanding how much is your interest costing you each month? Because that's what's going to help you determine, okay, if I'm paying off this debt, number one, how much debt do I have? What is the interest? How long will it take me to pay off this debt? Because that's going to give you that insights to then figure out, okay, if I decide to save $1,000 to $3,000 and just kind of get that buffer foundation set and then start tackling debt, those are the things that you're going to have to figure out first before you can get that clarity. The other thing that I find is you're trying to do both, but say you have, $10,000 worth of debt you're trying to pay off, but then you also want to save up like $20,000 for your freedom fund or emergency fund, whatever you want to call it. And you decide that you have $500 left over at the end of each month. So you decide, all right, I'm just going to split down the middle and put $250 over here to the credit card debt. I'm going to put $250 over here to my savings. And you're month after month, you're thinking this plan is working, but then you're frustrated. One, because you're not seeing progress on the debt. It's not going down as fast as you want. And you're not seeing your savings built as fast as you want. And there's several things that I normally see too with that when you're trying to split and build up your savings while paying down debt, is that with the savings, part of why you're seeing struggle is that you are being so restrictive. You are like, all right, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to build up my savings. I'm going to cut out all these different things so that I can actually focus on it. And that is part of the problem. Because trying to be so restricted is that you build up that savings, and then what happened? You dipping right back in there and taking things out. Now, I want to say, yes, there may be emergencies that happen, and you may need to dip into that savings to cover your overall emergency expenses. But what I'm seeing is generally that you're dipping into savings for things that are not necessarily emergency, right? You're saving up the money, but then you're like, okay, well, I'm paying all this, stuff on credit card debt, and you're trying to avoid using the credit card. So then you look at, oh, wait, I got all this cash over here, and you start dipping them. So drop a one in the comments. Let me know, is this something that you're seeing with yourself? Are you saving up money, but then you're finding yourself pulling more money out of your account, right? As you are trying to build up your savings, right? You just can't seem to keep it in that account. So let me know if that's you. And then on the debt side, what's happening is you're not seeing progress, or you're not making a dent in that debt because you're not actually putting enough in there to see the balance go down. So remember, I talked about the interest rate. A lot of times the minimum payment that you are paying on your debt, that's not the true total cost of your debt. So here's something that I want you to do. When you look at your next credit card statement, I want you to look at the minimum payment that you're paying, and then scroll down into that into your statement, and then I want you to look at the amount of interest they're charging you each month. So let's look at an example of, say you have a credit card debt, that $10,000 example that I shared with you. Say that monthly minimum payment is $150, right? But if you look at your statement and you scroll down a little bit more, let's say the interest is $300. So you have $150 that you're paying, that minimum payment each month, but your interest is $300. While yes, you're putting $150 onto that credit card, yes, it'll bring the balance down a little bit more, but you're only cutting into half of that interest. So your monthly debt payment or debt cost really is $450, right? The $150 minimum payment plus the $300 that they're charging you in interest. So you can see why that balance, it may go down. And especially if you're still using the card, you're not going to see that balance go down. And I get the frustration too, because it's like you're trying to manage your money. And so you're not seeing progress. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just not good with money. And this is the frustration and the overwhelm sticks in. And I can tell you, for me, when I was going through that cycle, not really understanding how much interest was being paid on the card, and I'm just paying the minimum, until you really sit down and look at, okay, of all of this debt, how much am I actually paying a month in interest? How much am I paying in minimum payments? And totaling those amounts, because that gives you the true picture of why you're not seeing progress, right? You think it's because you're not good with money and that somehow you don't know what you're doing, but a lot of it really is a lack of clarity, lack of understanding. And once you understand, one, how credit cards work, understanding how much is actually costing you each month, then you can tackle it and have a plan for how you can start seeing that balance decrease. All right, so when I talk about clarity is going to be the one thing that's going to help you stop and ask yourself, what are you actually trying to do? Yes, you want to pay off debt. Yes, you want to save. But what is actually the purpose of why you're trying to do this, right? Are you trying to be debt free? Are you trying to build up your freedom fund? Is your ultimate goal just that you don't want to owe anyone any payments? You have to get behind the why, because that's going to drive you so that you're not frustrated and, okay, I'm putting too much to saving, but then you get that guilt and you're like, oh, maybe I should be paying off the debt. And then you pay off the debt and then you go back to the save. And I'm saying this because I've done that. I've seen the women that I work with try to do that. And it all stems down to you not having clarity and understanding of what's going on. Because when your goal is unclear, you trying to split up your money, there's going to be that frustration and chaos. Like the power for you will come when you have a goal and you're building a plan around it, right? That's what's going to help you create that progress. Okay. Now, for me, the way that I did both, I didn't focus on restriction. It was more about, I want to achieve financial freedom. I want to have this wealth building journey. I didn't want to continue to be in this cycle of debt. I wanted to actually start seeing my wealth grow, seeing assets grow. I focused on, okay, how can I still pay off debt while building up my assets and still being able to enjoy life? And I know you're probably thinking, okay, I'm still trying to figure out how to pay off debt and save at the same time. Like, how can I even put fun into the mix? But let me tell you this one thing. If you try to be so restrictive on your journey, and you are focusing so much on just throwing everything at debt or trying to build up all your savings at once, you are going to burn out. Because trying to sacrifice everything, to whether it's just trying to save everything or just trying to knock out debt, like, life is not meant to live with restriction. And there is a way for you to still enjoy your journey. And there is a way for you to pay off your debt and save while still enjoying your journey. And it comes around and it comes down to you planning. And so I want to shift it to you this way. It's not about don't spend money, right? It's about how do you spend with purpose? How do you spend in alignment with your goals and with your vision? Because I'll tell you one thing, it feels so much better when you're able to swipe and use your credit card, quick guide of like, okay, how can I get more clear on what's happening with my finances so that I can actually start seeing progress? I invite you to download my financial clarity guide. And in there, I walk you through 4 simple steps on how you can get more clarity and start working towards paying off that debt and building up your investments. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you're watching the replay, make sure you answer the questions in the comments as well. I definitely want to hear your thoughts and what you took away from this video. And if this video resonated with you, I want you to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so that you can get notified when I go live. So I will be watching the comments for any questions you guys have. So thank you for watching. And until next time, here's to your financial